Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. Bryan Kohberger has been indicted, but will he fight it? Will he fight it? And knowing that his lawyers have been challenging the case thus far in reference to filing a motion to compel for discovery and filing a motion to not lift the gag order, I suspect Bryan Kohberger's defense will fight the new indictment against him. There has been an indictment down, confirmed with me. I actually called the Latah County Courthouse to get the indictment number to his case. The clerk there didn't have it offhand, but she said it might be the same as his original case number. But they're going to get back to me on that. As soon as they get back to me, I'll share the new indictment number if there is one. But will he fight it? And, you know, there has been people in the past that have fought the grand jury indictment on constitutional grounds. For instance, there was a case out of Latah County years ago, a defendant by the name of Edmondson, that actually challenged the Latah County grand jury process. He challenged his case on appeal, and it went all the way to the Idaho Supreme Court. I'm going to show you this case. So this is a case out of the Idaho Supreme Court, State of Idaho versus Edmondson, 1987. This is dealing with Latah County. Appeal from 2nd Judicial District Court, Latah County. Eric Roy Edmondson was indicted by a grand jury in Latah County on the following charges: racketeering, grand theft, conspiracy, and the falsification of corporate books and records. Edmondson filed a barrage of motions raising a number of constitutional and procedural arguments alleging error in the grand jury indictment and requesting the indictment be set aside. After a hearing, the district court issued an opinion denying the motions. Permission to appeal by certification was granted. On appeal, Edmondson raised 5 specific arguments as to why dismissal of the indictment is required. They are: the prosecutor's use of the grand jury to indict was not based on any systematic set of criteria and therefore violates the Equal Protection Clause of the Idaho Constitution. Number 2, the prosecutor's use of hearsay evidence is contrary to Idaho Court 19-1105, Idaho Court Rule 6. Number 3, the prosecutor's comments on the evidence infringed on the grand jury's ability to exercise its independent judgment and therefore violates the Due Process Clause of the Idaho Constitution. Number 4, contrary to statute, unauthorized personnel were present during the grand jury sessions. Number 5, 18905, the falsification corporate book statute is unconstitutional on its face. We reject all of Edmondson's contentions and affirm the trial court's findings. We will discuss each argument separately and any additional facts as necessary. So he raised 5 claims regarding the grand jury procedure. So research that case a little bit if you want more details. But here is some of the issues that Bryan Kohberger could challenge when it comes to his indictment. Filing a motion to dismiss the indictment. The first and most direct option for challenging a grand jury indictment is filing a motion to dismiss. Similar to grand jury subpoenas, grand jury indictments are subject to judicial review on various grounds. These grounds include excessive relevance on hearsay, grand jury bias or prejudice, prejudicial publicity of the government's investigation or the grand jury proceedings, prosecutors' failure to disclose false statements, prosecutors' failure to present exculpatory evidence. And that might be Bryan Kohberger's issue, the last one. Prosecutors' failure to present exculpatory evidence. Because the grand jury is a one-sided show. The prosecution shows their version and the defense has no right to be part of those proceedings. So I'm thinking the last one is definitely going to be challenged, and expect a motion to dismiss indictment by Bryan Kohberger's defense team relatively soon. What do you think? So the question is now, will he challenge the indictment, and we'll go through a whole new process. Now there's no preliminary hearing. It goes right to a district court. I suspect his attorneys are going to try to delay this process by challenging the validity of his indictment on numerous grounds like I just showed you. Or do you think he's just going to go with the flow? Now that he's been indicted, just go with the flow and, not challenge his indictment, or maybe challenge it down the line if he gets convicted and challenges it down the line on appeal. Not sure yet if Bryan Kohberger is going to plead guilty. I suspect he probably will. I think the prosecution will work a deal out with him to avoid all these people to come in and testify, like the victims and the roommates. And, I know that one of the families are a proponent of the DP, but I think down the line this is going to just plea out and Bryan Kohberger spend the rest of his life in prison. Rightfully so. I do feel he is guilty, but will he challenge this indictment? Remains to be seen. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. I want to know your thoughts. Bryan Kohberger indicted. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.